And welcome to today's instalments of Loose Lips, a good vibes only chat show. We're bringing on our first guest. I'm excited. Are you? Are you excited? You should be. Our first guest is a footballing marvel who's just actually sent me through the request, so let's see how we get on. We're joining up with Clayton Donaldson. Yes, cuz, how are you?
Oh, go on, G. Good, man.
Can
Can
you
you hear
hear
me?
me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
1 second, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man.
Yes, perfect, perfect. How you been?
All good, man. All good. So surviving out here, man. It's crazy. It's crazy.
How are you finding it? Obviously, with your world of football, like, how talk to me through that. All of a
Yeah,
sudden being told that you're not playing games, and how are you keeping fit through this time?
it's difficult, man. It's difficult from going from one extreme to the other. Obviously, training and playing, and then suddenly, bam, everything stops. So, just got to try and keep fit as much as possible. Like I had to buy an exercise bike, man, to just try and keep my legs ticking over. Just stuff like that. I'm going for little runs and walks and stuff as well. So it's just anything just to try and keep on top of it, man. Because like you say, you just never know when all this is going to be over. Then you thrown straight back into it. So you just make sure you got to make sure you're prepared, man. That's it.
What's it like the talk between the players? Obviously at your club and then at various clubs as well. Do you have an idea, a sort of time frame, or are you just sort of seeing everything as it goes?
Like I say, no one knows. No one's got the answers. As famous Kanye West has said before, no one's got the answers, man. It's like even like the government is obviously we got being on lockdown. Like it was like 3 weeks when it the first period was, and then now it's just like, well, just see how it goes, kind of thing. And it's the same thing with football. We're just riding it out and just see how it goes. And obviously we just got to follow the guidelines and follow the government steps and stuff. And that's all we're doing really. Football's like is waiting behind that really. That's all we're doing. We're just like any other working class people, just waiting to go back to work and do our normal stuff. So it's just a waiting game where we don't know where the end is.
Is
That's the
there
difficult part.
Yeah, it is. It's the uncertainty. I think
Yeah.
it's the uncertainty that's sort of throwing everybody at the moment. But is there sort of discussions between yourself as of preferred options? I mean, there's a few ideas that are going about like a festival of football and playing like 17 games in 2 hours. It seems everyone's wanting you to just run out and finish the season. Like, is there a preferred way, or have you heard of ways that you feel might make more sense and be a bit more practical?
The only way I've heard is obviously just playing games behind closed doors. You've heard of like I think they're all about maybe holding games at certain venues like St George's where they've got like the hotel and stuff, and players would stay and thrash out the games there. And that's been floating about. But like I said, I can't see that happening really without obviously the government lifting the isolation and all that. Really, to be honest, just at this point, you just hear so much rumors about here and there and what's going to happen, what's not going to happen, unless and like we haven't been told anything. So I only know as much as you know what you've read in the papers. That's the same thing, really.
That must be crazy, man. It must be crazy. Are you hearing me all right, Clay? So I'm just getting a couple of messages in groups saying that my audio is not the best.
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me fine?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly. Have you?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you perfectly as well, man.
Perfect, perfect,
Yeah.
perfect. Yeah. Also, big up everyone who's coming through in the group. If anyone's got any like comments that they want to lend while we're chatting away, feel free to. There's a lot of love coming through. Love, who's that? Joshua 16 Clayton. I loved you at the Blues. So yeah, man. There's a lot of love coming through.
Uh, can't they hear me or something? Is that what they're saying?
No, they're saying it's me. It's a bit crazy. I tell you what. Let me let me log off and I'll come back on, and then add
Yeah.
me again, and then we'll pick up again.
All right. Yeah.
Sorry about this.
Yeah. That's cool, man. It's cool.
All right, 1 sec.
All right.
Easy, everyone. Yeah, it's first time it's happened in the group where people are saying it's a bit bad sound. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to log off. Feel free to come back on. Literally, we'll come back on. We'll pick up the conversation straight away. Respect. Hello, hello again. Yeah, sorry about that. A few technical issues with the sound there. Hopefully, this one will be a bit better all the way around. So we'll see where we are. Just waiting for Clayton to come back through, and then we'll get back rolling again. Big up everyone who's coming back through again. Thank you for the heads up as well in the comments. We could hear each other fine, but obviously we want you lot to be able to hear us as well. So, perfect. And likewise, any comments, questions that you want to put in the chat, feel free to put them in. And if I can fit them in, I definitely will. Just waiting for him to come through now. Here he is. Let's see how technology goes this time. Hello, Pippa. Yeah, sorry about that. Like, I don't know, a bit of a crazy one, but
Yeah.
I could hear you, you could hear me, but obviously if people can't, I just thought it'd be better to maybe reboot it again, and people said it's a lot better now, so we'll see.
Oh, is it? Okay. Cool,
So,
man.
yes, I honestly, I've been wanting to do this for ages. I've always got this vision, and I'm still going to hold it in there, right? Like,
Yeah.
one day, me and you will be on Soccer AM house together.
Hey, that would be amazing, man. From where we started off to end on there, man. That would be amazing. I've
How
always
do you
wanted to
feel?
go. I've always
Sorry,
wanted
go
to
on.
go on. I've always wanted to be on the soccer team. I've been approached a few times, but like I say, I'm always playing on a Saturday, so it's always difficult for me to do that. So it was just finding the time when I was able to go down. So I haven't actually been able to do that just yet. But yeah, it'd be funny if me and you was on there, man.
That's why, that's the universe, like,
Yeah,
making it happen. It's like, no, don't do it yet. Just give me a
yeah,
reason, then we'll both rock up.
yeah, yeah. You never know. You never could be. Like I say, this is my first. This is actually my first live chat, man. Insta live, actually. So yeah,
Breaking
so,
new ground.
there you
First on
go.
Insta,
There
first
you
on
go.
Soccer AM. It's happening.
There you go.
Anytime you do a live interview, I'll be there. I'll be
Yeah.
there. Just whispering in your ear. Do you remember when Fabregas was like really young, like 16, 17, and he dived for a penalty, and Henri was like, don't say anything. Just, but the camera picked it up saying
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what I'll be.
yeah,
I'd like that in your ear, like, don't say anything.
yeah. Iconic moment, man.
Yeah, exactly. When they had the
Yeah.
maroon kit as well,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
ivory
yeah,
kit,
yeah,
you know,
yeah. Yeah,
big kit
come on,
that,
man.
big kit
You
that.
know, Gunners.
So let's take it back to early day, because would you say there was a brilliant crop of players coming up from Bradford at the time that we were growing up that didn't end up making it professional? Because it seemed like there were, from street ballers to ones who
Yeah,
played for Sunday clubs, Saturday clubs, who played
yeah,
for
yeah.
academies. We were spoilt for a lot of quality players at that time, but a lot really didn't make it through. So taking it back to when you were first coming through, like junior football and young football, when did you feel like you had the ambition to really follow it through to take it to a professional level?
It wasn't too late, late because I got approached so many times, but I just wanted to play football in the streets with my friends, man. That's all I wanted to do, and I enjoyed Sunday league football, Sandy Lane and stuff as well in Bradford and Fackley as well. I just enjoyed it. Yeah, enjoyed it, man. So I didn't want to change that until I'd probably say I was about 15, late 14, 15s, where I thought, you know what, I think it's the right time to try and make something of this now. And like I say, you had players coming through. We had Luis Emmanuel and someone else in my age group as well. That was always playing for Bradford Boys and Bradford City at the time. And, you play against them for schools and stuff. And you'd be like, yeah, he plays for Bradford City and blah, blah, blah. I'd be like, oh,
Yeah,
okay, cool. So yeah, like I said, I didn't take it seriously like 15. And then my school teacher said, look, I know the Bradford coach, he wants you to go down. Do you fancy going? 'Cause I always kept putting it off, saying, no, I'm fine, happy playing with my friends and stuff. And then I said, you know what, I'll go down, have a little trial with them and see what happens. And that's when I walked in. It was at Appley Bridge, funny enough. That's where we train now. Um, I can't remember the guy's name, Steve Smith, I think he was, like one of the coaches, I think it was called. And he just said it was just too late. Like I said, I left it too late because they already had made up their mind who they
yeah,
wanted to take on. And my time was all wrong, but at the same time, I got to play some games for them, and luckily enough, there was like a few scouts there, Barnsley and Hull City, and a few other scouts there that was saying, yeah, we've got a few slots left. we want to invite you down, and that's when I went down to Hull City. Billy Russell, man, invited me down, and I remember playing against Bradford. Funny enough, as soon as I left Bradford, we played them again, and I think I scored a couple of goals against them as well, and that was quite weird. But yeah, it's like I say, there was quite a few youngsters in my age that was coming through, and that was getting hyped up at the time, and then didn't quite make it for whatever reason. I've always said it was good for me to move home. I think if I would have stayed in Bradford, still being with my friends and around, society, the people that I was around, I don't think I probably would have made it myself. I probably would have been still doing stupid things with my friends and
lost focus a bit. Do you think you'd have lost focus a bit? Just waiting for him to load up again. Anyone watching? We're just having a couple of technical difficulties. Sorry about this. It's first time it's fully happened, but we are getting stuck into some good chat here. Clayton, if you can hear me, I'll have to reload it, and if you can come back on. The power of technology, yeah, typical. The first time this has happened. If anyone's still locked in, thank you. Do bear with. As I say, this is Loose Lips. We've been going, we did last Monday, last Wednesday, Monday just gone, and this Wednesday. And it's the first time we've sort of had these technical difficulties. So do stick with. I assure you that the chat will be free flowing and it will be uplifting, and we will be getting stuck into the nitty gritty of Clayton Donaldson and his career. He's just probably logged back off to come back on again. So just bear with. And likewise, anyone with the chat, yes, he's come back through. Anyone with any comments that you want to give to the chat, come through and I'll fit them in. Easy. Sorry, you froze then.
Yeah, you froze as well, man. Crazy.
No way. So I tell you where it got to. It got to
Yeah.
the bit where you were saying that you felt moving away did you good, and I was saying, do you think if you would have stayed in Bradford, then you would have lost your focus? Do you think that was a key part then?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, I definitely would have lost my focus. I would have still been around my friends, and um, obviously, if I would have signed youth forms or whatever at Bradford, I still would have been playing. But then going back home to the same crowd that was in, probably wasn't probably ideal. Wouldn't be ideal for me as a kid looking to make it as a professional football. And I think that's one of the reasons why most players don't make it when they. I was able to move away and get my head down. And start fresh. Where if I would have stayed in Bradford, I would have been still going out, doing stupid things, stuff like that. Really, like I say, it's a difficult one moving home at such a young age. But when you've got that drive and you want to actually do well, you just never know where it can take you.
When you're at this sort of other scale of that now, do you see players coming through who have those sort of similar allures around them, and are you able to put a bit of an older figure arm around them and maybe guide them in the right way because you've sort of seen that side of it?
Yeah, I do. I speak to quite the young players a lot that are from the area where they're playing, and you see it all the time. And they're still going out of the weekends because they're known by everyone, and then they'll do something that gets back to the club, and that's a strike already. So I've seen it. I've been involved in it before. So I've always tried to put my arms around them and say, look, you're from this area. Everyone knows you. Just be careful. Because the eyes are going to be on you. You're a professional footballer now. So things have changed massively. Whereas when I moved away, no one really knew me. So I was still able to step out here and there and do my own thing. Whereas if I stayed in Bradford, everyone knows me in Bradford, so it would have been a lot difficult to move about and do the stuff I was doing before I moved.
Do you think clubs have a certain agenda and responsibility in that sense of protecting the player, or is that maybe where clubs are seeing that they want to see the maturity and the discipline of the player? Because I feel that's quite a make or break time. You're not just growing up as a man, you're growing up in the public eye, you're growing up in a competitive nature where you compete for places against people much older than you. It's a lot of like background pressure before you actually even step onto the football pitch. So, do the club ever intervene, or do they just sort of think, we'll cut our losses
No,
and
I
it'll
think
go
they
to
do. No,
equality. But
yeah, no, I think they do. Most clubs now have like a player liaison, so that's the person who looks after all the players and all the players' needs, and whatever the player needs, they provide. So, like I say, when you sign for a club, that's they're kind of their responsibility as well, because you're carrying their club on your back. So whatever you do, it affects them as well. So
yeah,
I think it's in their best interest to try be involved and guide the young players. But it's difficult, like I say, when they're still living at home. You can't watch the players 24/7. Do you know what I mean? So it's up to that player to have that drive and say, look, no, I'm staying in, I'm focusing, I need to watch some games and revise and better my game and stuff like that. So it's just, it comes within the player as well.
when you move to Hull, I've noticed that when certain players move to different cities, they stay with like club fosterers, like sort of
Yeah,
guardians. Was that
yeah.
what you did as well?
That's what I did, yeah. Yeah, it was like digs, lodgings, like digs it was called when I was over there. I stayed with like a family.
And what was that like? Because obviously
That was, yeah,
there'll be a set of a part of the club family as well. So do they teach you
yeah.
the values of it as well?
Yeah. There was like my parents, and obviously it was scary,
What age
leaving
was
home,
this?
and
Sorry, 17.
I was 16 I was, yeah, just gone 16. So obviously moving home and then moving into another, this was all new. I was like, what? Yeah, wow, like these people, I don't even know them, don't know what they're going to be like. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's crazy. But they were smashing. It was amazing. They made me feel welcome and made it so much easier for me to adapt as well. And like I said, there was other players that was there as well, which made it a lot easier for me as well. So I bonded with all the other players straight away, and it was like a nice close little family. So it was good. It was good for me.
And then from Hull, was it York?
Yeah, after Hull, I went to York City. Um,
So was Hull more YTS at that point?
Hull was YTS, yeah. That's what it started off as YTS, and then I signed a 2-year pro when Peter Taylor came in. He's the one who gave me my 2-year pro at 18.
So for
Um,
anyone
and
watching, YTS is sort of like the cap before you get signed to being a pro.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
the tech players
I
or
think they call it like academies. They have like academies now, don't they, and stuff like
mm,
that. I don't think there's much YT. I don't think there's like a YTS youth team scheme or something. What it's called back then. I don't think it's like that anymore. It's more academies now. But
yeah,
it's
because
a similar sort of thing.
then well, you'll know if players get injured, they step into those academies to actually
Yeah,
play, don't they? So yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So then,
yeah,
how was it then? Obviously, you settled because one of the things I want to really cover is just how much you've moved around and travelled, and especially at a young age, like to settle in different places. So obviously, you've gone to Hull you've left Bradford, gone to Hull at 16, 17. You're now at York. I know that don't sound a million miles away, but
yeah.
you still got to start again. You still got to get your face to fit. You've got to meet your new teammates, and you've got to find out a new area as well. So, do these things ever have an impact on your game while you're settling in?
At first it did, yeah, because obviously you got to find your feet again, new surroundings, new places to look and stay. It's all big changes, and the first few 3 or 4 months it's difficult because you still try to find your feet, and but at the same time you need to be performing on the pitch as well. So you're kind of juggling the two together, which is difficult. Like I say, when all new players come over to new clubs, so you don't tend to see them settle down as quick as you would think they would. But it's like I say, it's all that takes time, and it's hard to juggle the both together. It's difficult, but it's part and parcel of football. You just got to get on with it. But other people don't see that side of it.
Is there a lot of potential frustration when it's working in training, but it's not quite working in the match because you're still not settled yet? Or is that where the belief again and the discipline and I suppose the coaching comes into it, where the prep you with the mental toughness of we see your quality, we know it's coming, don't put pressure on yourself. Because I think sometimes what puts pressure on a player is themselves
Yeah,
wanting to perform
yeah,
too much.
yeah. No, sometimes you get managers and coaches that say, look, it's a new club. It's going to take time to settle. Just keep doing what you're doing, and that's massive, for any new player, because obviously a new player want to hit the ground running straight away. But then you got the other side of it. When they're finishing training, they've got to look for a new place to live, get used to the new surroundings, get used to all the new players as well, and some managers, I've had loads of managers come up to me and say, look, just it's fine. It'll take time, but it'll come. Just keep going and keep believing, and that's massive. And that's massive.
At that moment in time, as you sort of establish yourself as a first team player now, with the level where the club were at, were you, is this where conversation comes with your agent where you're looking for a move, or the clubs approach you? Because obviously the move after that turned out to be, what I say, one of your most prolific in your career.
Which one's that?
To Hibs.
Yeah. Well, that just, like I said, I was at York for a couple of years, and the second year, I think I hit the ground running, to be fair, at York, scoring loads of goals, and then I think they wanted to sell me to some league club. I think it was Peterborough, I think it was. But they wanted a massive fee, and I think I was 23 at the time. And I think in Scotland they had that where if he was 23, he was allowed to leave for free, and that was like a loophole.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a loophole. That's why they was able to get me for free, and obviously York City didn't get any money for it. They didn't know. And that's how that all came about with John Collins. Collins came to watch me a few times at York City. And then, I remember signing a pre-contract deal with them in January, I think it was. Didn't go down too well with the York City fans, but
I was gonna say,
it didn't go down well.
Played against them. Do they remember?
Yes, I got a decent welcome, but there was a handful of players. I mean, handful of fans that still reminded me of the time where I left without giving York City any money. But it's part and parcel of football. There's certain things you've got to try and do for best for yourself and your family, aren't you? So that was one of them.
So, I mean, we've discussed a bit of the moving now, but moving north of the border to colder climates, I mean, what was that like?
Yeah, well, obviously Scotland is a place where I've never been before, so that was an eye opener, and just the strong accent was the most difficult part, understanding what everyone was saying, in the strong Scottish accent. Lucky enough, Edinburgh wasn't as strong as like your Glasgow's and your other areas up there, so it was kind of watered down a little bit, which was all right. But like I said, there was so many different cultures up there. Yeah, lovely place. If you haven't been to Edinburgh, I definitely recommend it, man. Lovely place.
Incredible
city. Yeah, great city, man. We loved it up there, so. And that made it easier when your surroundings are beautiful as that. It makes it a lot easier.
What about when you're sort of playing there now, and you're playing in derbies against Hearts, you're playing at like Ibrox and Celtic Park.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, the Scottish League can come under a bit of criticism, or at least the scrutiny. But I think it's old-fashioned, hard-hitting football. So, what was the difference in the step up to playing Scottish Premier League?
Yeah, well, my first game was Hearts away, so it was like a Edinburgh derby straight away. But I didn't know the magnitude of it. Like when I first went out there, I just thought, it's a derby. We just play the game and then go home. But no, it's to the fans. It was like that's their life. Do you know what I mean? It was as serious as that. And so when you're turning up to the ground and you're seeing all the fans and the atmosphere and the energy, it was like I don't think I've experienced anything like that for like in my career at the time. So it was an eye opener for me and very scary. And started that game, and like I said, I just remember just walking out thinking, "Wow, is this what it's all about? Is this what a derby is?" kind of thing. So I've never really been involved in the derby as big as that at the time. So that was a massive eye opener. And the Scottish people, man, they football's their passion, man. Football's their life. So I definitely saw that when I went up there.
And then what about when you are going to these grounds like Celtic Park? And did you get to play Ibrox, or were Rangers still having their issues?
No, I got to play at Ibrox and Celtic Park as well. Got to play at both, and it's the atmosphere, the stadiums, man. It's crazy. Like I say, I've never been involved in a football match as big as that. Do you know what I mean? 60 odd, 70,000 people in the stadium just going in for your neck. Yeah, it was that's that. A young boy being involved in that. It's madness, but it was great at the same time. I enjoyed it. I think we won at Celtic Park as well, and I think we won at Ibrox as well at the time. Yeah, both away. We were doing all right under John Collins.
Was there any sort of players that stood out to you in Scottish football who you were playing at the same time who've gone on to do things? Were you playing? Had Van Dijk signed for Celtic at that time, or had you left
Yeah,
at that time?
this was long before that, man. Come on, man, you're showing my age now, bro.
Ah,
Come
look at
on,
these
man.
grades, mate. These are
Nah,
showing us up.
you're showing my age. Oh, that was long. I was playing up top with Stephen Fletcher. You know Stephen Fletcher,
Yeah,
man.
did you used to
Sunderland, was
play
it Sunderland?
for Wolves?
Burnley, Wolves, Sunderland. Yeah,
Look
it
at
was
that
me.
football
Yeah,
knowledge.
me and him up top at the time, and
And obviously, John Collins was an iconic Premiership footballer at the time.
yeah,
Big time.
yeah,
He was a
yeah.
baller.
When I heard he was involved in signing me, I was like, wow, John Collins.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
watching the World Cup and stuff. That gets R9 and them on there, so I was like, whoa, yeah, this is big, man. I used to watch him all the time in the Prem, so I couldn't believe it. But he was amazing, man. He was amazing with the players. His players, man management was spot on, man. Yeah, I enjoyed my time up there with John Collins.
And then, so you were up there for, I'd say, what, 3 seasons, I think? And then Brentford came calling.
No, it was Crew.
You was Crew?
Yeah,
I didn't know
Crew.
you were at
Yeah,
Crew.
yeah, Crew. Yeah, I was at Crew as well. That's what I'm saying. You're showing my age, man. Come on, man. I've been like a traveler out here. No, yeah, I went down to Crew under Steve Holland. He's now the England, is it England assistant or whatever it is now? And Dario Gradi as well. Yeah, that was crazy as well. Living in just outside of Manchester, a place called Nantwich. Yeah, and like I say, Crew always known for the football inside.
Yeah.
As soon as I went down, just football was played on the ground and just pop here and there, and that was great because I always wanted to play. I was like kind of a flair player at the time as well, so that was great for me. And to having the young players coming through, just playing football in the right way it was good, man. It was good.
Yeah, because at that time, they were a feeder club to Liverpool as well. So,
Yeah, there was all quite a few players that came through at Crew always went on to bigger and better things, man. So it was, yeah, like I said, it was a feeder club for all the big clubs there. So for me to be involved in a team like that and playing with the players with the quality, the players that they brought through was made my game a lot easier.
now we'll
A lot
come
easier.
to some of the other clubs that you've been to in a bit, but I sort of want to focus on the side of when it comes to the transfer element of it, because you must have seen it. The one, and I know Sheffield United was much later in your career, but I'm going to bring up that
Yeah.
example. Have you seen the documentary that you're in where it's transfer deadline day and you're actually there, supposed to be signed, and then it went
Yeah.
through, but some of them weren't going through?
Yeah. That was the Sheffield, wasn't it?
Yeah. So
Yeah, I see that, yeah.
can you because obviously you by this time you're at 4 different clubs through Crew before you got to Brentford. Like, what's it like, that whole phone call from an agent? Right, so and so's interested. Is there a few clubs? Do you get to go down and check the training ground, or do you meet the players? Like, what's the process before a transfer?
No, well that was like because mostly I normally see out my contract, and then I'm free at the end of the season, and then I have time through the summer just to weigh up my options and do things that way. Whereas obviously the Sheffield Wednesday thing, I was still under contract with Birmingham, so I think that was probably the first time where I've had to like get up and leave. Where before I ran out my contracts and left on a free, so I've had time to do all that. So that was my first proper involvement in actually last transfer deadline day deal kind of thing. So
It looked
that was
crazy.
an eye opener.
It
Yeah, that
looked
was an eye opener, man.
crazy.
Jesus, it was. I can't remember what time I was in Birmingham. Just sat there, just I think I was playing a game or whatever I was doing, and then bam, I get a call. Birmingham's accepted bid or whatever it is, and you can go. And I'm looking at the time, thinking, I need to get up to Sheffield. I'm not going to make it. Like, so I'm not going to make it in time. I'm thinking, are you sure? It's like, yeah, you need to go now. Just leave everything and just go.
Did
So I had
Birmingham,
to,
obviously, it's difficult viewing what you can say and stuff, but let's say, rather than name clubs then, are manoeuvres done where certain elements might want you to stay and things are stalled to derail it, or is it generally paperwork decisions and it is just pack and parcel of it?
say that again.
So basically, you're sat in Birmingham and you're
Yeah,
waiting. that could have been done in the day. It could have been at any time. Do you think that there's certain games that have been played by certain entities that are wanting to keep you, or is it just the paperwork does take its time and it's part and parcel of it?
No. It was Birmingham. Birmingham didn't want me to leave.
So they were hustling it a bit and holding it to the latest.
Yeah, well, I spoke to Harry Redknapp on the day. He actually told me about teams being interested, but he actually said, "I don't want you to leave." So I was, obviously I'm seeing him bringing all these players in. He brought in so many. Harry Redknapp, man, wheeling dealer, transfer deadline. He brought in so many players. I'm thinking, why? Am I going to play here? But I spoke to him in the morning. He was like, no, I definitely want you to stay. I like you as a player, so I want to get your head down. But then I think I was coming back from an injury at the time. I was injured the following season, so I was still on my way back. Wasn't really up to scratch. Didn't play a few pre-season games, and I was trying to weigh everything up. And then, bam! Now, I don't know if it was someone higher up in the club said, yeah, okay, you can go. After so many discussions and stuff, and that was it. And that's how it happened. I didn't think I was going anywhere. I thought I was going to be going to training next day at Birmingham, and then I got a call saying, yeah, you can go. They said you can go and you're free to talk to them. So that was enough for me to say, okay, yeah, let's go, let's do it.
What's the side of that when?
But the paperwork can the paperwork can just be signed, and most of it is more like medicals and stuff. So clubs want to protect themselves and don't want to sign a player that's probably injured or got an injury, acute injury that could obviously turn out to be a big injury. So the medical side was the one that took its time, and that's what delayed everything. As soon as I got there to do my medical, and even that was rushed. But they did all the main stuff, and so that was fine. And then and then pulled it through. But like I say, it's mainly the medical side of it really that takes the time. And I think, didn't you see it with the Wigan player, man? He was supposed to go to where was he supposed to go, man? To Italy, wasn't it? The left back, man. He got that move to, was it Milan or?
Nah.
You remember?
The only one I was thinking was the baller.
I can't remember his name. Does anyone know the name, man? It was Wigan. He was supposed to move to a team in I think it was AC Milan or something like that. And was it January? And it fell through because Wigan to Milan, yeah, it fell through because they medical Robinson, that's the one. Robinson, left back. He was cheers for that, man. What was that? Wiltshire. He was because Milan, they're strict. Like you have to do I think it's a 3-hour medical. You have to. And obviously the time he got there and for him to do a 3-hour medical, it wouldn't have worked. It wouldn't have worked, and that's the reason why that fell through. Whereas if Sheffield United was like, well, we do 2-hour medicals and that's that, I wouldn't have signed for them because it was more relaxed. And obviously the procedure in Italy is more stricter. That's why he never signed over there. That's why I was able to sign. Yeah. Sometimes they can move the goalposts over. It's all the preference of the club, really.
I've always wanted to know that. And then it must be strange when you sat in Birmingham and you've got boys there, and there's a bit of a brotherhood and solidarity, and then you're gone. I've always wondered, what's that like when you leave? Like, you still obviously still spars and boys with everybody, but it must be strange.
Yeah, you always look at the squad and think, who do I know from that team, man? And obviously, this Sheffield United situation. I knew Duffy. From he was at Birmingham. Jake Wright as well, was Bradford lad. That I've known growing up as well. So as soon as you get in there, you're looking for those players to try, and Liam Clark as well. You're looking for those players to try and help you to settle down. Do you know what I mean? And to be fair, like all new players when they go to a new club, man, all the players are sound, man. You get the captain texting you saying, "Welcome to the club. Make sure you look for me when you come in, and I'll show you the ropes and stuff like that." So yeah, it's even now. If players come to Bradford, I always go up to them and shake their hand and say, if anything you need, and just, I'm here for you. So it's always good when you sign for a new club now. Most of the players are just I was saying, yeah, cool, everything's fine, man. Cool, just come in and this is where you sit, this is where you get changed, just do your thing.
And
And
what's
it makes it life easy, and you relax, and you're like, okay, it wasn't as stressful as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, because I suppose you've got that element where people think he's coming in to take my place, but then you've got the other side of it where we're going to be a better club for it, and it's going to make me a better
Yeah.
player. So, yeah, I mean, I
Yeah, you
suppose
do.
it
You
could
do
be
have
a
a few little side eyes, like,
yeah,
yeah, is he gonna, where is he gonna play?
yeah.
I haven't even heard of a player. Like, where does he play? Does he play up front? Like, if you get little Charlies and or whatever, so you do get that. You do get that, but then it ups your game. Do you know what I mean? So if you want to keep your players, then it's good. You know what I mean? It makes the team stronger. Everyone ups the game and makes it difficult.
What's your favourite initiation song that you've had to sing at a new club?
I've done a few, man. Jesus. The one I go for is Bob Marley, Three Little Birds, man. Simple, it gets me through it, and I can jam to it as well. So I think I've done Billie Jean before, man. At Birmingham, I think I did Billie Jean. Sure I
Yeah,
did.
throwing out
Yeah,
moonwalks and moves and
I did a
everything as
little,
well.
yeah, did a little chameau and everything. A couple of moonwalks in there as well.
That's
Yeah, I think yeah. But Three Little Birds is the one I go to now. Simple but effective.
Now, I've worked my way around because I want to spend a bit of time on Brentford because I'd say that was probably the club that you spent the longest at in your career. And I'd say, would you say as well, more success? Like, it felt like you were proper loved by the Brentford fans. Like, they properly took you. I remember being at a wedding and speaking to a Brentford fan who said, oh, it's my cousin, and he just wouldn't leave my ear alone. You're like, no way, like, what? Like, honestly, like, you were proper loved in Brentford.
Yeah, it's a difficult one because most places where I've been, New York, Crew as well, finished top goal scorer, so I did well there. And in Birmingham, and to go in the champion, score 16 goals in my first season and double figures in the second season. Do you know what I mean? It's not easy. So to actually narrow down a club, say I was more effective there, I think it's been, yeah,
I wouldn't say
yeah.
effective, like from your
But yeah,
standpoint, but from the club, the fans who
from the
really
club,
took
yeah,
you in.
obviously, yeah, took me in and helped him to promotion as well to the championship, which is what they wanted. So that's massive. Do you know what I mean? You know how hard it is for teams to. Brentford was a small little club, playing people never would have thought them playing in the championship. So to be involved in that was major. I think, yeah. So probably that was one of the reasons why the Brentford fans, took to me and that's still to this day now. Been great, man. So we went on a mad journey, and they're still thriving now, still playing ball in the right way, and like I said, he's got a chance of getting up to the Prem. So for me to be involved in that journey, man, yeah, I could say, well, yeah, cool, yeah, it's good, man, good
And
time.
then Greg Dyke's involvement with Brentford as well is always like blowing my mind. So Greg Dyke was like the chief operator of the BBC, but he also had like something to do with Brentford as well. Were he
Yeah.
ever around the club?
Not to my, no, I don't know. To be fair, Greg Dyke, possibly, but I don't know. Nothing like that information gets to the players really, to be honest. And obviously, you had your Natalie Sawyers, she was a big Bradford fan, and she used to come to the training grounds and stuff and meet the players and stuff. Unless they came to like, the training grounds and meet the players or into the change rooms, we would never know who was going to the game or who wasn't.
Okay, fair. And like, I remember watching you play against Chelsea in the FA Cup, which must have
Yeah.
been crazy. When you got fouled by Terry, you bullied him up
Yeah.
that first game, didn't you? You know you did.
Yeah, no, the first game was good, man. To actually play against the likes of Terry and Ashley Cole and Torres. Why, yeah, that was a special moment, man. Special moment in my career to actually be involved and play on the same pitch as those guys. And we actually, like you say, we did well. We did well. We think Torres scored a last minute equaliser, man. Killed us,
Yeah, you were
but
unlucky. You were unlucky
yeah,
that game.
killed us. But yeah, that game, man, is long lives in the memory of for me. That does, man. Definitely, we played well. Like I say, you about to say what I bullied Terry? Is that what
You
you
did.
say?
You bullied Terry up, man. You know you did.
Oh yeah. Got the best of it. Got best. Yeah. I don't want to say too much. You know what I mean, I might put I see Terry now and again. No, yeah, we had a decent game in that first game, man. Decent game.
Looking at someone like him and how he's gone into coaching, do you feel like coaching something for you in your future? Do you feel like football is still after your
Yeah,
career? It's something that's still going to be prevalent in your life.
yeah, I think so. I'm doing my badges at the moment, so that's something I might want to fall back on. I think being involved in football for so long, I think it would be a shame to just walk away and not be involved in any certain way, in such way as coaching or managing or whatever. So I thought I'd done my badges. I started at my badges last year and yeah, a couple of years ago. And I thought, you just never know. Like I say, you just never know what may happen and what the future might bring. And while I'm still playing football, why not? So yeah, so that's there just in case I turn to it.
And then what I think one of the crazy things about what's happened in your career was what happened at Bolton. Like
Yeah,
that must have been difficult on all sides of it, man. Like, is there anything what do you
that
think
was
of your memories at that club, at the
yeah.
moments there?
It's sad because that's the only memory I really have about Bolton is the way it ended really with the financial situation and the owners and stuff and administration and all that stuff and players not getting paid for so long. It's like I say when you're involved in that and you see players going through what they was going through at the time, it was bigger than football. Do you know what I mean? It was mental. It was mentally. So it's yeah, it wasn't a great situation to be involved in, man. Definitely wasn't a great situation to be involved in. I'm just glad now we got through that. We got through that. I don't think without I think the PFA helped us to a certain extent, but I think without the players around us, the strong players, the weaks, and the other players that was there at the time to keep us all going and mentally strong. Yeah, I think I don't think we would have been able to get through that situation, man. But I won't wish that on any player. So that was a difficult time, but we got through it, and like I say, it's just I think it makes you stronger when you get through stuff like that.
A career of ups and downs, and it brings you back full circle to Bradford City. And before we go there, I'd like to speak to you about when you played internationally. I remember you posting up a photo one time when you swapped shirts when you beat Chile 2-0, I think, or 2-1, and you
Yeah,
swapped shirts with
2-1.
Alexis.
Yeah. Managed to score in that game as well, man. It was and Alexis, man, what a player! Jesus Christ, he was running ring around us all, man. It was a difficult day, a long day, but to actually get my goal in that game, I think it was the first goal, and then we were just sitting on that for time. And like I said, Alexis was at Arsenal at the time. I can't remember. He was, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And I was like, I need to get his shirt, man. I need to get his shirt. But that was like, say, it's playing international football. That's a whole different ball game again, man. A big eye opener again. Playing against players like Alexis, that means Suarez and all them, Cavani, and Hernandez. It's different level, man, different league, and you can see why those players are like where they are. You can see, like being on the pitch and playing against them, like, yeah, okay, I understand now. This is what certain players need to do to get to that level, and it's always a shame really that I took up international football at a later age rather than if I was younger, man, I would have been able to like, yeah, okay, this is what I need to do, this is where I need to be. Do you know what I mean? And when you're testing yourself against those talented players, man, it was good experience all around, and to play for heritage, man, yeah. Big honour, man. That was a big honour for me and for my family as well.
There's a good question that's just come through, and I'm going to piggyback off that. So I was going to ask the cliche, but I'm always interested. Who is a player that stands out the most that you played against? And then also one here from Matthew Monkey saying, favourite shirt ever collected from a player?
Player that Sanchez, man. Yeah, Sanchez was a problem. He was that guy was small but sharp and nippy, and like I say, he was at Arsenal at the time where he was just causing damage in the Prem. He was at the top of his game, man, at the time, and playing him at Chile, he was just everything was just so easy for him. Everything was just close dribbling, technique, everything was on. Yeah, I just remember coming off that game thinking that was like a FIFA game for him. The way he played against us, it was like a FIFA game. So, and then the shirt as well, the shirt swap. Well, I got his shirt, so I probably would say, yeah, probably would say Sanchez, man. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Like if you didn't see him play live at that time where he was on top of his game, you won't understand what I'm saying, man. Because obviously he went to Man U and didn't really keep that same level for whatever reason. You know what I mean, it's different system, different teams. So I don't know. But that time when he was at Arsenal, man, Jesus Christ, scary, scary, scary.
And then to round us up, then, so you come back to the home city club. Can you tell us about how that came about? Obviously, from Bolton to step to there, and just how you feel about playing, bringing it full circle.
Yeah, it was. Blackpool's always been like there, like come and play for us, come and play for us. But at the time, it wasn't the right choice and right time in my career to actually to sign and play there. Obviously, I was wanted to play as high as possible, and Blackpool was still League One, League Two at the time, so I was like, it's not the right time yet. And then after the Bolton situation, sat down and thought, you know what? Even though they got like relegated, I just think it's the right time to do it now. I think it's the right time to do it now. And what a way if I can go there and try and get them promoted to League One. What a story that would be as well. So, and to finish my career in that there, so it was like I say, it's full circle. And I thought this is time where I want to settle down there now and try and get back promoted and finish there.
And you know, when you think about it, how's your season gone this season? How do you think you've settled in, and how do you think it would have could still potentially finish at the end?
Yeah, we started well, started really well. Got on into the playoffs positions, and then I got injured, man. I got injured against Morecambe away. I think that was the last time we actually won away. I think it was. Did my toe, plantar plate ligament in my toe, ruptured it, so I had to have surgery and stuff. So I was out for like nearly 4 months, man. So I was doing well, and then we got that injury, and wasn't really picking up the points as much as we was before, and form starting to dip, and we started to dip down in the leagues, and then obviously the manager changed. Manager changed in was it in Jan? I think it was Jan. Yeah, manager changed, and then new McCall's come in and steadied the ship a little bit. So it's just
like? What's that like when you've been playing under one system and then another manager comes in? That must be quite an interesting.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. Whole new methods. You know what I mean, you've gone through pre-season, half of the season playing one way to a certain method, and then the new manager comes in, and then you got to erase all that and then start again. It takes time. It takes time, and McCall came in and steadied the ship a little bit. Got some decent results, picked up some decent performances, decent points, and then it kind of dropped again. So you're going to get that with a new manager, and new systems and stuff, and the players getting used to everything. But we're still, like I say, we're still there. We're still thereabouts. It's in our grasp still. So as long as that's still there, then we've got everything to play for. So I think what are we 3 points out of about the playoffs with like 9 games to go. So it's definitely still there and a lot of points to play for. So like I say, before all this happened, we were still optimistic about actually reaching those goals and getting promoted. So. But now it's obviously this virus and everything's come in, and all the football stopped. It's like it's being put on the back burner now. So I just think, obviously all the players are just itching to go again and trying to climb up the league and get some runs going.
Yeah, it sounds inspiring, man. And I'm sure once football comes back again, you'll be getting the bantams back to where they need to be. My final one, if that's all good, is what would you say your proudest moment is in football? You know, you've achieved a lot, you've played here, there, everywhere, up and down the leagues, different countries, internationally. What would you say your biggest or proudest moment is?
I would say probably signing my first pro deal, man. I think signing my first pro deal at 18 gave me the platform to do what I've done in football. I think if I didn't, obviously, I think I was the only one in my age group to sign pro forms and become a pro. Not many players get to do that. Such a small percentage of players that get to sign professional contracts with the clubs and stuff. So I think that's probably been my proud moment to Because if I didn't sign pro, I got released or whatever, I would never achieve the things I've achieved. You know, the goals, you know, the internationals, the hat tricks, yeah, stuff like that. If I never signed my pro contract, I would never have done all that. So that gave me the platform to improve and do better. So yeah, sign my first pro deal, man. Definitely, definitely.
For me, I wouldn't. There's been two real surreal moments where I've gone,
Yeah,
wow. One was when I was going to a wedding in Dorset, and we were waiting for a taxi, and we're in this like, imagine League of Gentlemen, and we're in this weird like one lonely pub,
yeah,
and you're on the telly scoring, and I'm like, no way, like that's waiting for a taxi, and I just looked up and you banged top car. I'm like, that's my cuz, like, no way, that's sick, man. So I love that. The
yeah.
other one which I want to add is when your mum passed, and I remember I was at work at the time where I was working, and I was always keeping afloat of like Brentford's like scores at that time, and I
Yeah,
knew you were
yeah,
going to score, and you scored, and you took your shirt off, and you had the vest, and you pointed up to the sky, and I
yeah,
just, that for me, that is what, like, it's just, it was just beautiful. It was,
yeah,
honestly, it was such an amazing, like, respect that you showed, and I knew you were going to score. Do you know what I mean? There's just
yeah,
some
yeah,
things, and I just
yeah. It
knew,
was,
and to see you do it, I
yeah,
was like, yes, yes. You know what I mean?
yeah. No, it was a game like I remember like it was yesterday, man. Obviously, you know, anyone that's lost their parents or you know, I mean, losing the mum and stuff, it was a blow, man. Huge for me. It was huge, and it was a massive setback. Actually, found out the Chelsea game, the replay. Brother came down and with the missus and stuff and the family and came down to watch the game. But my brother actually knew before the game that she passed away that morning. And I was playing Chelsea, I think it was like 3 o'clock or something in the afternoon or whatever, late afternoon. And I obviously I didn't know until after the game. That's what my brother told me. So look, I didn't want to tell you before the game because obviously you wouldn't have played it, would have put you off the game, and you've been looking forward to it. And you know, mum wouldn't want you to not play the game. So that was yeah. So when I got the news, then I was all emotions and everything was fine. And then I think the club gave me a couple of weeks off just to bereave and stuff really, and sort things out back at home. And then I think that was my first game back from being away from it. And like I said, the emotions were running high, man. The emotions was crazy. You can't explain it until you actually being in that situation. And then, like I said before the game, I just had a feeling I was going to score, man. Just had a feeling I was going to score, and I was able to show a bit of respect, man, and have my mum on my shirt underneath. And as soon as I scored, that was it. The shirt came off, and funny enough, I got booked for it as well, which is crazy as well. My mum passed away, and I've scored a goal, and I'm just wanting, I mean, just show the amount of love I had for her, man. And then, boom, got a yellow card as well, and the ref was like, "Look, I don't want to do this, but you know, I've got to, blah blah blah." But you know, at the same time, respect. I was like, "No, it's cool, man. It's cool. It's cool." Luckily, I didn't get booked early on in the game.
but
Yeah, but
that
yeah, proud moment, man. Proud moment as well. Yeah,
that one really stands out. But thank you for agreeing to chat with me. Thank you for your time, and you know, I'm glad that you've gone on to do what you've done, because one of us out of all that age group deserved to, and the fact that it was you. I still remember bits of skill you did at Fackley where you were sending,
yeah,
like, defenders have still lost the legs now from skills you did 20 years ago. Do you know what I'm saying, man? Like, it's bonkers. So I'm proud. I'm proud. I'm glad that we've got to connect again and do something like this. But I think it's even more poignant that you've come back to Bradford to be able to help them and almost like pick up where you left off if you would have probably got signed with them originally. So
yeah,
good luck
yeah,
with the rest of the season, whatever comes through with it, man. I'm going to get to some games as well. You know, I'm busy. I'm
yeah.
busy heading to Emirates and that, mate. You know what I mean? But like,
I
when I
see
when
you.
I'm
I see you. I see you on that TV though. Don't think I don't see that colour, that pink hair and that, man. I see you
oh
on
mate,
there. I was
look at
like,
it
yeah.
now. I don't even know what he's doing, man. That's
Oh
that's
my
the
God.
biggest
Yeah,
bit.
you,
Some of
you need to
this,
keep that
like,
hat
this
on,
is my
man.
hair.
Keep that hat on. No, keep that hat on, man.
Yeah.
Just don't take that off, bro. Keep that hat on. Oh my
Oh,
God. But no,
perfect.
like I say, it's been a pleasure, man. Like I say, we go back way back, man, from like Sunday League and that, you know what I mean, and family as well. So when you hit me up, and I know you've always been a flipping comedian, man. So and you know, see you doing your thing as well. So I've always wanted to be involved and shed some light on it as well, man. But nah, you keep doing what you're doing, man. Like I say, it's been a long road, but you got there and you're doing your thing now, man, which is good to see as well, man. I always keep an eye on you as well. Like I say, I see you on Arsenal TV as well. Like, Mrs. Look at this guy, man. Look at this guy with his hair. Look at this guy, he's all over the place. We've always been gunners, man. So, but no, I'm happy for you, Bob, man. And like I say, just keep flying that flag, man.
Thank you. Same to you. And when this is done, we'll have a catch up as well. But thank you for your time, brother. Mad respect.
Yeah, man. No respect for that, G, man.
Peace to you and
all
yours,
right,
man.
Yeah, man. Bless up, man. Bless
Respect.
up. Yes.
So there we are, everyone. That was Clayton Donaldson, the Don, of course, Bradford City captain and professional footballer. Good to catch up with him. Sorry about the technical issues that were at the start of it, but we did get a lot out of the chat. It was amazing. Just flowed all the way that he wanted it to do. That's what he wanted to do, man. It was class. I'm buzzing. Big ups. And any City fans, good luck to you, man. Good luck to you this season when it does pick back up. You know, obviously for the City of Bradford, you want all Yorkshire clubs to be thriving, really, but especially Bradford. So, yeah, respect for everyone who tuned in, all your questions and all that. I'll be back in literally 4 minutes with my next guest, who is David Kiss, a DJ and booker from New York, one of the most successful and popular clubs in New York, House of Yes. So if you're interested in that, definitely stick about. And likewise, if you want to listen to this or any of the other Loose Lips chats, I upload them onto YouTube and I send the links out to the people who've been interviewed. So just keep a look on their socials and not only that, on mine as well. Other than that, stay cool, stay safe, stay indoors, and I'll see you on the other side. Peace.